What is up, guys? John Pep here from JohnPepFitness.com here at Acceleration Fitness, and we're not outside today. This is episode 20 with a special guest, best friend in the world, John Beltowski. So introduce yourself, John, kind of tell everybody your story.
All right, guys, so my name's John. I've been working at this gym, Acceleration Fitness in Auburn Hills, for 6 months now, and I'm just gonna talk about, I guess, the 5 things that really helped me get to the goals or get to where I am today. When I was coming into the gym, I was 240 pounds. I'm now probably about 230 pounds, but I gained a lot of it back in strength. I'm a lower body fat percentage now than it was then.
Yeah, I want to add to that. Like he says, like that's when you think about it just right away, it's like not that big of a difference. But when you realize like the body fat percentage changes and how much stronger he's gotten, it's a world of a difference.
Yeah, like my progress pics on my Instagram, John Beltowski on IG, but I actually got down to 208 pounds just with like my diet plan, working here with the coaches, and just coming in 5 times a week, sometimes twice a day. Got down to 208 pounds. I increased my bench, squat, and deadlift all by 150 pounds or more since I started focusing on strength.
So specifically, what were your numbers to start out?
So when I started at the gym here, I think my bench was like, it was poverty. It was like 155. I think weighing at 240 pounds. My squat was 315 and my deadlift was like 275, 285. And now my squat is like 415, bench of 275, and I deadlift 500 pounds. Just in a matter of 6 months.
So that's a huge difference, and while lowering his body fat percentage at the same time.
Yeah.
So anybody out there says you can't get stronger and drop body fat at the same time,
It can be done.
They're lying. It can be done. It's happened. So, all right. So what are your 5 tips? What's helped you the most?
So what's helped me the most, guys, is number 1, I guess, would be, let me check here.
Gotta get the notes out. It's all good.
Track your macros. So when I came into Acceleration Fitness with the boot camp challenge that I did, it was like a 2-month-long program. They really drilled into my head about counting macros, and I didn't really know what they were, and they did a good job of educating me what that was. But I definitely stayed low carb for about the whole challenge. I only had like 1 cheat day a week, but by low carb, I stayed around 50 grams of net carbs daily, and my protein intake was around 200 grams daily. And that's what really helped me get down to 208 pounds and really shred off all the fat before I started going into my strength programs.
And I want to add one thing to that. So in some previous episodes, I've kind of talked about finding what works for you best, like with those numbers. Like we'll give you like general guidelines, and anybody in the fitness industry will give you guidelines, but you've got to play with it and see what works best for you. Because I know John, he found that he can go lower carb than most.
Yeah.
He does a lot better off of that.
Yeah.
Like me and him compared are like night and day difference, like what we can do carb wise. Like if I were to go as low as he would, I'd probably kill somebody because I'd be so hangry and I'd just lose weight. But he was able to really function well off of that and still get stronger. So you got to play with it and find what's best for you.
Plus my metabolism is just super slow compared to John's. Like if, for example, like my weight fluctuates a lot now. Like as soon as I have a cheat day, I gain like 15 pounds in 2 days. But then if I stay clean the rest of the week, I lose like 15 to 20 right off the bat. It's nuts.
True story.
Really nuts.
It's number 2.
Number 2 would be stay patient. When I started here at the gym, just trying to lose as much weight as I could, I got really frustrated. I'd step on the scale day 1, and I'd be stepping on the scale day 3, day 4, not really seeing a whole lot of progress. And it just gets frustrating. And John and a lot of the other coaches here, Matt and Ben, they just really kept drilling in my head, like it takes time, just stay focused, keep counting your macros, keep coming in and busting your ass, and it's gonna happen. And then by week 3, week 4, I dropped 10 pounds, and then by the end of the challenge, I dropped 25 to 30 pounds. So that's just like, was one of my biggest flaws, even with strength. Like with strength, I wasn't seeing a lot of results right off the bat. After week 1, week 2 even, I was getting pissed off because I would go and lift after lift after lift, just busting my ass and not really feeling any stronger. But by the end of the program, I would make like 50-pound increases in all my lifts.
And that's the big thing, guys. Consistency. Like really, no matter what you're trying to do, lose weight, gain strength, or get jacked, you got to be consistent, show up every day, put in effort every single day, and you will see results. So what's your 3rd one?
My 3rd one is, especially when I was going into strength training, during the cube method and the other method we're doing right now, was not being able, or not really not being able to, but not being afraid to make jumps. So like with squatting, my training partners John and Jimmy would always make fun of me because I would just randomly warm up with squats, like 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plates, and they're all laughing at me. But honestly, I feel like that was a lot of my success personally with how I gained a lot of strength, just putting a lot of weight in the bar, not really thinking up or adding up the total on the bar, just getting under the rack and lifting that shit. And I think that's really helped me with all my lifts, deadlift, squat, and bench. Just putting the weight on the bar and just getting it up.
And I could account for that. Like sometimes he makes such a big jump. We're like, what are you doing, man? Like we're like doing the math in our head, and it's like a 75-pound jump, but he doesn't even think about it. And that's a great thing, especially if you're trying to get strong, because if you're not thinking about it, that means there's a less of a chance that you're gonna miss it. Because I know a lot of people, I'm even guilty of this sometimes, I overthink things. Like I'm always like trying to find the optimal weights and percentages and reps and sets, and sometimes I just end up overthinking it and it ends up screwing me. So he is not having that problem, and you gotta be careful with it. Like you have to know what you're doing, but still at the same time, it's a great quality just to get after it, not overthink it.
Keeping that mentality just to get it up no matter what, I think. And number 4, actually, what really helped me, especially in strength and losing a lot of weight, was my mobility. A lot of the coaches, I think, including John, made fun of me a lot. And like, because we're friends outside the gym, not really as like a degrading matter, but my mobility was terrible coming into the gym. I could hardly get into like a parallel squat for my lifts, bench press. My shoulder mobility was awful, and I think increasing my mobility, like stretching daily, doing pigeons, elevated pigeons is one of my favorite ones for hip mobility and hamstring mobility, I think. And my ankle mobility, I just lean it up against the wall, try to increase the ankle mobility to get a deeper squat. And once my mobility increased, a lot of my lifts jumped up too. And I think that was a big part of.
And that's huge, because he's not kidding. Like his mobility, his ankle mobility was pretty bad. Like it was pretty bad, but that's how simple it is, guys. You don't have to get crazy, you know. You don't have to go onto Mobility Watt or any of these other websites and do all these crazy banded, you know, distractions with voodoo flossing and another band hanging off you and weighted and all this stuff. Now they're great, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing them, but it can be as simple as just stretching out your calves against the wall and just practicing, right? So he did that every day, and it helped tremendously. So yeah, that was the 4th one.
Pretty much it. Number 5, and the last one, was finding a program that works for my goals. So I wasn't really a big strength guy up until I got down to 208 and like 10% body fat, and I'm like kind of looking a little scrawny now. So I talked to John, and John's really big into powerlifting. So I hopped on this program called the Cube Method. I don't really know who started that.
Brandon Lilly. Shout out to you, Brandon Lilly.
That's who it was. I started doing that, and I think that helped a lot with my strength success. I jumped 50 pounds on my lifts after the first, 12 weeks?
Yeah, 12-week program.
12-week program.
50 pounds and everything.
And I think that helped a lot for me, because a lot of the times before that, if I wasn't doing a boot camp with the gym, I would come in on my own time and just kind of wander around the gym not really knowing what to do. So or even at school, I go to the rec center at school by myself, and I would walk in there, 2 hours would go by, and I would hardly even get in a couple lifts, because I'd just be walking around the gym not really knowing what to do. And with the program, it's all written out for you, so you can just come in, kill the workout, and get out of there in a pretty good time.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. I've been in the same boat. I think everybody has at some point where you're just starting out, you don't know, exactly what you want to do, so you kind of jump all over the place. You never really see any real progress. You see some progress just because you're so fresh to like this, the gym and whatnot, but it's not linear progress. It's kind of jump here, your squat jumps up, then goes down, or your bench jumps up and then goes down. So it's kind of very unpredictable where that progress comes from. So it's a huge thing, guys. Get out a program. So that was your 5 tips, episode 20. Check him out on Instagram at John Beltowski. Yeah, he's had like 3 different names. He's changed them, but I think he's at
John Beltowski now. It's my name.
Okay. So at John Beltowski on Instagram. Check me out at John Pat Fitness on pretty much everything. Snapchat J-PAPP. I'll put them up on the screen. Hit like and subscribe if you could. And that is all, guys. Episode 20 is a wrap.